Hello everybody, my name is Bob, and we're playing From the Depths. There's a few designs that I didn't include in my previous showcases, either because I created them too late, or because I just didn't put them in there. The first one that I want to show you is a submersible base. Okay, this is a resource base to mine resources and to create oil and such. You see it's got an oil refinery in here, and it's sort of basic. It's basically something that I intend to build fairly early in the game. It's got a lot of wood in it, but I don't want it to get hurt. So if say I've left it behind the fleet somewhere else, and I get a rear guard action against me, then I can do this. Submerge. The oil refinery is set to automatically shut off once the enemy is in range, and it's got repair tentacles to repair the raft there. It has very basic armament. It's got missiles, which are right here. Actually, it's got missiles and torpedoes. So it's not really equipped to get into a fight. It's equipped to run away, pretty much. Just stay away from the enemy. Let the other ships in the area do their jobs. And something that's cheap enough that I could probably build it fairly early in the game. Matter of fact, I'm planning on building it fairly quickly once I get the first base in Deepwater Guard territory, and I can just leave it here. And worst comes to worst, if it's hit with a overwhelming force, I can withdraw, and probably not much risk that it's going to get hurt. And this thing will go all the way to the seafloor. It just goes straight down. Or it doesn't go straight down. It goes as straight down as it can manage. It's got little heliprops down here to pull it downwards. Now these rubber blocks so that when it hits the seafloor, it's not going to hurt itself. And then automatically, when the enemy is no longer an issue, it pops back up and goes back to doing its job. Enemy's dead. The hell blades stop. Air pumps do their job, and it goes back up. Slowly. Not very quickly. And it's not particularly fancy. It's something that you can afford fairly easy early on in the campaign. Mostly built with cheap materials. I mean, there's some metal in it, but not a ton. There's some metal around the engine. And ammo barrels down here covered in reinforced wood with a barrier of metal beyond it. So it'd be pretty crafty to get something in there to hit it. And it's back on the surface doing its job, or it would be if it was back in the resource zone. Alright, on to the next one. Okay, I believe that you've seen this before. This is the Boomer thrustercraft. And I thought I really like the design. It's got a few weaknesses. The turrets pop off very easily, but it's got a lot of strengths too. I really like the design, but I thought it's kind of too expensive for the early campaign. It's if I can find it. Yeah, it's 49,000, which is not super expensive, but it's for the very early campaign. It might be a little too expensive. So I thought, why don't I make myself a cheaper version of this? And so I did. That's the Boomer. This is the Bouncer. About $10,000 less, or 10,000 resource less. As you can see, it's a little smaller. Still has the same arrangement of guns. They're on a one-axis horizontal turret and two one-axis vertical turrets. So it really allows for major coverage of the area. Basically, shoot in any direction it wants to go. So let's go and see that in action. The main ways in which I economized on it, I made a lot more of it out of wood. It's a little smaller. The gun pods, I didn't even bother armoring them because they're really easy to blow off anyway. So, but I figured, screw it, and tried to rely on speed and the limited countermeasures to keep the gun turrets from getting blown off. The ammo is actually in the wings, which has the advantage of if it blows up, it's not going to blow up the engine and all that. So it can still technically fly, even if it gets the ammo blown up. Go ahead and bring in some suitable victim. And as you can see, it can point in any direction it wants to. These are, I believe, 2-meter guns, 2-meter ammo. The guns actually slow it down significantly, which is okay when it's approaching, and then when it's going away from the target, it actually will speed the ship up because it'll be firing backwards. It has some very basic countermeasures here. It's little small missiles with missile interceptors on them. Not very effective, but not very expensive either. And that's that. This thing will also get very close to things and circle around them, which can be dangerous but also annoying to the victim, the target rather. And then I thought to myself, what if I take that basic design and go much bigger? And here we are. And I forget what size the guns these are. These maybe even 6-meter shells. Unfortunately, these turrets are much slower than the ones on the Bouncer and the Boomer, but they still turn around fast enough to do their jobs. Let's go ahead and bring in a victim. It's also faster than either of those, so that's a good one. And I did try to design it with an eye to drag. Although these things are pretty draggy, and there's not really much I can do about that. But if we look at the drag here, oh, that's be in build mode. That's good. The guns are pretty draggy, but otherwise it's reasonably streamlined. I mean, it's not terribly streamlined, but it's as streamlined as I can make it with that same design. And as you can see, it's got hello blades that are keeping it up. More hello blades in the back because that's where all the weight is centered. Great big engine, bigger than I really need. And also has smoke countermeasures for lasers. And I got a variety of shells on this. This has got an AP capped head. It's got a shape charge with a shape charge secondary. And this is just HE with EMP. Man, is that thing not dead yet? Come on, bro. Now it's dead. So this is for a little bit later in the campaign, you know, when I can afford something that's a little bigger than a boomer or a bouncer, but not quite up to the size of my big airships. Although it's pretty pricey. It's I mean, for what it is, it's 124,000, so it's not cheap. Let's bring up something that's a little more challenging here. Oops, that could be dangerous. Nope, it's not. Nah, we're good. And get a little bit of lag. Kind of flying sideways here. Not sure how I'm going to do with the campaign as far as my computer being able to handle the load here. Because you see right now it's slowing down. Well, it's not that bad. It's at 24 frames a second, so it's not terrible, but it's, you know, not great either. Might look into ways I can optimize it. And directly above, a lot of ships can't even touch it too well. Now the countermeasures are aimed frontwards. Whoa! Okay. We got hit. Our luck may be running out here. Nope, we're good. Sustained a little bit of damage. I don't think anything's serious. The gun turrets are all encased in heavy armor, so trying to avoid as much as possible the prospect of these things snapping off. Whoop! Alright, come on, Barsoom, finish this bitch. I think I have inertial fuses and everything. I'm not sure why things are bouncing off, but mostly it's not. This AI dead. And in common with the boomer and the bouncer, the ammo is actually in the wing, which unfortunately, if it blows, it'll probably blow the guns, but it also doesn't necessarily have to blow the engine and stuff if it goes off. So, and I didn't bother putting that in heavy armor because is getting pretty heavy anyway, so I just put that in a couple layers of metal. And there's not a lot of ammo because I tend to go more for ammo processors than ammo piles. So I have sort of just enough ammo to keep it going, and then I've got a bunch of ammo processors in it, which do demand engine resources, but it just doesn't blow up quite as spectacularly as the ammo boxes do. Let's take a look at that right quick. And so I've got two of these, so that's not really a ton of ammo. I've got a lot of ammo processors though, and a lot of material storage. So, and the ammo processors are here. So all this is ammo processors. And back here, just because that's the way I build it. I build it with less ammo piles and more ammo processors. Because the processors don't blow up very as much as the ammo barrels do. So I just keep enough ammo barrels to keep me stocked up, and then I have the ammo processors refilling those as fast as possible. And so that's the Barsoom. And that's pretty much all. I mean, I've got, as you can see, if I hit load here, I've got a ton of designs, most of which never really considered to be worth doing that much, or not something that I would bring into campaign. Just little experiments that I've been doing that, I figure, well, that's not that great. I'm not that impressed. So, and there's a lot of these, but probably most of these are not going to be showing up in campaign. So they're just experiments that I worked on and didn't like that much. And some of these are stuff that I downloaded from the Steam Workshop, or stuff from my previous campaign too. That's all here. All right, that's all for right now. Until next time, hasta la vista. Adios.